Jason. Welcome back to Higher Density Living. This is part 6. Part 6 of the 7 principles of the aspiring ones. We got 2 more episodes on this. So if you haven't figured out the rest, I can't give a recap in 5 seconds because there's so much depth to each one. So you'd have to go back and listen to it. I highly suggest it. I mean, if you're already listening to this show, then go back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
these are great. For me, when I look through these, and I've read these over and over again, they're great leadership principles.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah. So for me, it's like this is like a blueprint for 2022 for me as a leader. Like if you could be these logically, and that's why I'm saying if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a manager, or maybe you're a leader that is struggling how to deal with people, how to understand people, these 7 principles will help you tremendously.
Yeah, and listen, people will recognize the value in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So you lead yourself, you lead others, and you're going to be leading by example.
100%.
It's a really cool way to go about things.
Well, let's start at number 6. You must absolutely, inevitably have very strong focus on essential values. So I don't want to get into the values yet. So he says he says a very strong focus, but he gives the 2 words about what the focus is. He says absolutely and inevitable. I can't pronounce that word. You can.
Yeah. You must absolutely and inevitably,
yes, have very strong focus on essential values. And I don't want to get into the values yet because focus is something that a lot of us don't have because of our ADD world.
Yeah. Our world's designed for short attention spans. Mm-hmm. But nature, it's very good at doing one thing and doing that job.
Like for millions of years.
Like ants have a focus. Mm-hmm. Build the colony and help it survive, right? Bees, what's the focus? Go find a plant.
Yes.
What's the color? Target fish. Their focus is wait for the bug to hit the water and and spray it.
Right.
It's all about focus for nature because if it doesn't have focus, it can't evolve. It can't survive. But we've created this world with all these safety nets around us that we really don't need focus.
Right.
And through that lack of focus, it's actually a hindrance to who we are.
Yeah, and when you have absolute focus, because he uses that word absolute, when you have absolute focus, that is something, and I've had that a few times in my life where I've really, kind of when you're forced, some things you're forced to focus on. Like for instance, when you go to the gym and mm-hmm. you're at that 8th or 10th rep, and you got to go to 15, and the your muscles are just like, oh, you're really like, I got to work through the pain because I know these are when my muscles are building. Like I know these next 5 reps are the most important ones, so it's like, and so you tend to like your mind because of the pain, your mind focuses on those last 5 reps to get them done. Because 1, you want to do them right because you don't want to cheat. Mm-hmm. And then 2, so you have absolute focus, but it doesn't require so-called suffering or pain.
No, it doesn't.
To get focused. Sometimes that's when we focus is when we feel like we have an emergency.
So that's most of our focus is that fight or flight moment. Now, when it's not an emergency, say for instance, when I'm rock climbing.
Yes.
I don't want to fall and take like a 35-foot whipper.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't have interest in doing that. Mm. I know I'm not in a place of danger. But when I'm climbing, the hand placement has to be perfect.
Yes.
In order for me to stick onto a wall. I'm holding onto a rock. And there's a focus with that because really I have no other job but to get to the top. I know that I have an end goal. And if you go back to their previous principles, right, it's talking about that end goal, right? The direction of life, things like that, things that you have to point yourself towards, having that point of focus. Now that I have that focus, how do I strengthen it? And that happens by saying, this is my target and this is all I need to think about in this moment. Mm-hmm. And so when I take my next action, it has to be under the auspices or the guise of what I want to become at the end. And that for me is getting to the top of the route.
Yeah. Can you look up this word that I can't pronounce, inevitability or whatever it is? Because I know what absolute is 100%, but I want to see in the context of what he's saying of having a very strong focus. He uses these 2 words specifically.
Yeah. Without possibility of escape or evasion, unavoidably, certainly.
So it's like, who was it? George Washington said, we got to burn the ships or whatever, so that we don't have any option to go back.
Yeah, that's an old military tactic. They did that from where Spain goes into Morocco. That's straight up, I don't know, Gibraltar or whatever the hell it's called. They had sent their crews across and then totally prevented the soldiers from coming back. You have no option but to go forward. You know,
So it's inevitable. Like this is
just happening.
It's just this focus, and that definition is awesome. I really like that.
You must absolutely and inevitably have a strong focus on essential values. It's like you can focus on other things.
Yes.
But when they talk about inevitability, that means regardless of what you're doing now, time will only bring the truth. So stop wasting your time focusing on other bullshit and focus on the inevitable. And the inevitable is your evolution.
Yes. And he uses the word essential values. So essential to me, like in the military, we had essential equipment.
Yes.
Like you can not carry certain things. Like for instance, especially now, the most important thing for a soldier now is batteries.
Yeah, everything they have.
Everything you have is
operated.
batteries. Yeah, your weapon, your sights. So everything is like, yeah, you could be lazy, not carry extra batteries. You can be lazy and not change your batteries out, even though you think you still have power in them. But there's nothing worse than have a sniper scope that goes out.
Yeah. Oh my God, my thermal's dropped.
Oh, and I didn't bring. Hey, you got batteries, bro? You got batteries? Yeah. What's your responsibility? It's essential that you bring these batteries.
Correct.
Because we do missions at night, and the NVG goggles and the scopes that you use and everything else, the lasers, all that need batteries.
Why? Because your goal, your operation requires these essentials.
Yes. Water,
Yeah.
if you're in the desert, is essential.
It's essential. So outside of the military, if you're just looking at the human goal, the human mission, which is evolution,
Yes.
there are essentials to that process. Yes, there are other additive things that are nice,
Right.
Supplementary things, but they aren't the core foundational things that give you a platform for you to really become who you need to become.
So let's get into these essential values that we have to focus on.
Essential value.
One is, and I kind of want to break these up into pairs because I really like that. So let's talk about love and peace.
Okay. First of all, because those are pretty hand-in-hand things.
This is how it seems like he has them in pairs.
Love's not the emotional feeling thing that you get.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it in that sense. Love is human understanding. Is understanding the other. You can truly love someone when you understand them.
Yes.
Time, listening, putting yourself in their shoes, things of that nature.
And not going against their free will, like in the sense of saying, I heard this on the LO Research podcast, the Law of One podcast. He said, with his partner, understanding that they live in a total different universe.
Yeah.
And to bring them to my universe and then impose on their free will is insanity. It's ludicrous.
Of course it's ludicrous because they have a way of viewing the world in their own process of evolution. So why is it for you to say, I'm going to pull you out of the way you're evolving and put you into the way I'm evolving?
Yeah, that's not love.
No, it's ass backwards. And that's not love. And you can't have peace
Right.
without understanding, all right? You're going to have war if we don't understand one another. We're going to kill each other if we continue to not understand.
Yeah, and so, because I said I take these as leadership principles. So for me, it's like, how do you love your people properly? And then, and that's holding them accountable. And it's not just being, like a pussy and like, but the peace part is, and this is really important, especially as a leader, is creating peace.
Yeah. There's catalysts, right? So think about the ocean, a wave. You can have gentle rolling waves. They're peaceful. But if you have these monster boys that are crashing at random times, that's not peaceful. There's no rhythm to it. There's no harmony.
Yeah.
You can't work with those sort of things. So you got to have the love first, which is going to bring about those synchronizing effects because we all begin to understand. So rather than splashing in the ocean and throwing off its natural rhythm, we're actually able to move with it together. There's a natural
Well,
flow.
and you know about this with surfing is you don't take a brand new person that's learning how to surf and go put them on a There's only I bet big wave surfers. There's probably 20 in the world that are badass,
if that.
Yeah, because one wrong move on one wave, you're dead.
Yeah, that's it. You're surfing Mavericks off the coast of Portugal.
Yeah, you're
No.
So it requires a very special person to handle that much energy. So if you can create peace in the sense of make it like when you go to San Diego and you go to surf school, they put you in these really small waves and they mainly just want to teach you techniques to get you up and off the board. And so you want to have waves.
You need the ebb and flow.
Yes.
You need those waves. Because
Yes.
they're natural catalysts for change. But they can't be so dramatic that people can't handle it.
Yes, exactly.
So having love And then having peace allows us to understand the element, the area that we're in, that sort of domain.
And it's something that you can display constantly through, for me, it's like, how do I display love? How do I display peace? Okay, there's a heated conversation happening right now at work or in my relationship. How do I display peace right now?
Right.
It's just simple as saying that to yourself, being self-aware. The next two are, and I think this is really interesting. That's why I like them as pairs. Knowledge and wisdom.
Okay.
Two different things.
First of all, you got to read books. Well, you got to collect knowledge. Knowledge is just looking at the world and pulling the data in. That's 50% of the picture. But knowledge is only good when you know how to apply it properly.
Or listen to books.
Or listen to books.
Go for a walk and listen to books.
So if you can pair experience and knowledge together, now you have wisdom.
Yes.
So those two things have to be paired together. So if we're building this foundational platform for ourselves, we have love, we have peace, we have knowledge, we have wisdom. Okay? So I'm looking for understanding. I'm creating a nice ebb and flow. I'm ingesting information, and I'm applying that knowledge properly so that I can become wise in my decision making.
Yes,
is that
exactly.
fair?
Yeah, that's 100% fair.
Okay, great.
Next to is freedom and equalizeness.
Equalizeness.
Yeah.
Okay, so freedom. Come on.
Equalizeness. We need to look that up.
Yeah. So freedom.
Right.
We're always talking about you can't go against people's free will.
Yes.
If you want people to respect your ability to make choices, you need to respect theirs.
So how do you create freedom?
You create freedom by respecting people's free will.
Yes.
It's as simple as that,
yes.
which requires love, peace, knowledge, and wisdom. It's the application of your understanding to understand the other. And in doing so, you exude that freedom. And then they can also reciprocate that back to you. And then from that, now that people are free, you are naturally equalizing the playing field. Even in your mind with your thoughts, your mind and your thoughts need to be equalized. If a thought comes in and you heavily polarize it to something super positive, where you're just like falsely happy about everything, everything's good, everything's great, when in truth, some things really aren't that good.
Yes.
You can't, or if you're negative all the time when things are actually positive, you're now polarizing the complete opposite side of it. There's no equalizeness to your thoughts or the way you are acting.
Yeah, I think also is creating this environment because we look at equality in a totally different way. So, this is a big word right now. It's a buzzword in with corporations and stuff like that is equality.
Yeah.
That's not what they're talking about here. I want to make this very, very clear. That's why I kind of wanted to look the word up because I think it's really, really important that we understand because you're going to get into it. He's kind of going to explain what equal is in the next two, but I want to stay here because I think it's important. When you have love, peace, knowledge, wisdom, freedom,
yes,
it's going to create a playing field where those big waves aren't coming in, and it's giving everybody the opportunity to have an opportunity. To me, that's equalization. It's like, here's the tool. I'm providing you the tools. Here's the surfboard. There's the waves.
Yep.
You can handle those. I've created a safe environment for you to handle them. And I'm going to teach you how to get up and off the board. I'm going to teach you how to ride these waves. They're not going to crush you. You're going to ride them.
Right.
And that's the responsibility that we have.
Well, that's what you're doing in your mind too. So what you're talking in the physical
right,
is also what happens in the mind. You're equalizing this catalyst. That wave is a challenge. It's energy. So how do I take that energy to work with it? So if I take something negative
right,
and start to polarize it towards a positive, I've equalized it.
And that's the next part is neutrality and harmony.
Precisely correct.
Neutrality is exactly that.
So
what you just said.
Neutrality is that I am not going to say I need everything highly positive or highly negative. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the equalizedness of what I am creating, my surrounding and my thoughts, and I'm going to move it into a neutral state, one that doesn't have a negative or detrimental effect. I look at it in the learning sense because when you view these catalysts, the surfing or whatever it might be, or your thoughts as something that is learning, you neutralize that energy and take it for what it is.
Well, I think it's a prime example. I mean, you can go super negative Steve Jobs. A lot of things get accomplished. Probably one of the greatest, innovators in the world, as far as what he's done from a negative catalyst.
Right.
Now you can take an overly positive person and you can see like everything's fake and just like, oh yeah, let's just be positive. People are, it's like, oh, 3 people committed suicide. Oh, but it's all good. Let's ignore
it's
that.
Another unreal world.
Right. So as a leader, this is what I'm talking about. If you're in a situation or it's super negative, it's your responsibility to bring it to neutral.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation, let's say you guys just had a great big win, team had a big win, and everybody's high, like on this high, it's like how you can neutralize it, not go in there and just be negative, but you could say, let's figure out, let's get the whiteboard right now while we're thinking about this. Let's see how we got this win.
Correct.
What did each of you do? How can we sit as a team and figure out how we, it's debriefing, it's like the post.
And bring it back to reality.
To reality
so
and
that
neutral.
The neutralness. Creation doesn't want to just kill things. It's neutral. It's agnostic.
Well, the neutralizing is the second word that brings harmony.
Right, because that's where you can't harmonize with things if you're trying to overpower. Your neutrality allows you to flow. It's even back to surfing, right? If I'm pitched too heavy on one side of the board, right? Or if I'm biased towards standing on the front or the rear of it, that's going to cause a problem. I'm going to flip off. There's going to be issues. I'm not going to harmonize with the ocean, with the elements that are occurring. Maybe with people, maybe I'm surfing people's thoughts. I'm standing in a room and people are having discussions or dialogues. Am I going to let these waves smash into me?
Right.
Or am I going to allow them come to me, neutralize them, understand them for what they are? Maybe it's truth, maybe it's not truth, and just let them flow by.
Well, it's harmonizing in a sense of fear because, like, for me, like, I love surfing. Like, surfing, I'll watch surfing on TV. I think it's so awesome. I love it. But every time I get out in the ocean, I have a fear of sharks. So I'm allowing, instead of harmonizing with nature, and knowing that the odds are like 1 in a million of me actually, I mean, you tell that to the guy that lost his leg, but I'm just saying the odds of me going out surfing, even in Great White area, and getting lit up by a shark are very, very rare. I'm more likely to die in a car accident.
I was actually just picturing a shark. Just
go we just pounding its head.
No, but it's super unlikely, right? So you're not.
It's an unbased fear, and it's causing me not to be in harmony with the moment.
No, you're out of the moment. You're not neutral with anything. You're not being wise about your thinking.
No.
You're not creating freedom in your action. You're fearful of it. So it's restricting you from making choices you would make.
There's no freedom. Yeah.
You're not going to feel any peace being out on the water.
No.
If you're constantly in fear of getting eaten by the shark. And so with that harmony leads you to your last two things.
Yes.
Because if you have all these other fundamentals, what are you left with? Truth and reality.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
No, there's nothing else.
Because that's what you find. The application of these principles give you truth and reality. You see the world, you see yourself, you see your place in that world for what it is.
Yeah, and whenever I see neutrality, I always think of reality. So for me, those go hand in hand. It's like looking at it for what it is, and taking your biases out.
Yeah.
Whether it's a fear by a shark or whether it's a fear bias of, oh shit, I don't think I can train these people to get onto the surf. We're using surfing, but I don't think I can train these people to get on the boards, or I'm having a hard time getting on the board. It's all these like, and he talks about this here in a second, confidence and motivation, but it's all this ability to be able to understand the reality that you're in.
That's all it is.
Like some of you that are listening to this, your reality sucks.
Yeah.
You're in a really bad situation. I mean, we're not sugarcoating. I said we had 100 some countries listen to HDL. So you're maybe low on the Maslow's hierarchy and you're just trying to survive every day. And you're listening to this in hopes that you get some spiritual breakthrough or whatever. But that's not the reason to listen to this.
No.
The reality is, regardless of where you are human. And you have all the power inside of yourself. Not me, not you, not anyone else. You, as a human, have all the power inside of yourself to be able to change the situation that you're in. That's the reality.
No one else is going to do it for you.
No.
Unless someone's directly taking over your free will, they've bound you.
Yeah.
They can stop your physical body. They can't stop your mind.
But
if your mind's free and your body's not bound,
yes,
you have every power, every piece of self-responsibility for you to go take action, to elevate yourself, to evolve, to find these principles, to apply these principles.
And I guarantee you, if you apply these principles, it will dramatically change whatever reality you're in that moment.
Yeah, or what you thought was reality.
Yes, because your reality changes. It's the matrix.
It changes all the time, depending
on
your
perspective. So he says truth and reality. What did you say? I want to make sure, depending on what?
Depends on your perspective.
Yes, that's huge.
How do I want to look at the world? How do I want to look at the situation? We're all born, in the resource sense, unequal. Everybody has different amount of resources, but we're all born human beings. So we're all equal in the ability to think and take action and be free for ourselves.
Yeah, but it's like,
But we don't. We piss that away.
We think the number one thing would be to be born of a billionaire in a family.
It's not.
But those children are fucked.
Of course,
majority of them are fucked.
The thing is,
they get whatever they want when they
learning?
want it.
Where's the catalyst of that learning?
Yes.
They've never had a wave. It's a glass ocean that they're out there on a rowing boat, and there's never one negative thing that could affect the stroke that they take.
No, or they can sit on the beach and then hire a bunch of people to surf for them.
But what's learned?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So
he says, develop them, all of these, love, peace, knowledge, wisdom, freedom, equalness, neutrality, harmony, truth, and reality. Develop them consciously with confidence and motivation.
Okay. No cosmic influence. No alien group is going to show up. No thing is going to take over for you and develop these principles. If I go to share an idea with you, Jason, or an opinion, I can't force the opinion or the idea into you. You have to be willing to accept it. You have to develop that idea yourself so that you take ownership of it. So if you're not developing these things consciously, you can't ask for something else to give you love, peace, and knowledge. You can't ask your government to do that. You can't ask family members to give you these values. You have to search, work, and test these things yourselves.
But I think it's easier than people think, because confidence and motivation comes from understanding these things. Like in the sense, if I know my intentions are right.
Correct.
And I'm self-aware in this situation. I'm like, okay, I'm leading these 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, whatever it may be. And I'm the leader, and we have to make this decision. But I know my heart's right. I know my intentions are right. I've gone in and I've done the work and I've studied it. You're good. You should have confidence and motivation.
Of course.
Because what's inside of you is resonating with you. You're on the right vibration for that. You're going to have success and abundance.
It'll naturally occur. The thing is, you get tested. You get pushed.
Yes.
Because you need to learn. Maybe you were so fucking far out of reality that when you start applying this shit, you're like, oh my God, everything's so difficult. Of course it is. Because you've been living in some false, fucked up paradigm that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, I heard a lady, these spiritual I was watching on YouTube, and she said it's Earth school. She goes, it's just you going to Earth school.
It's nothing else.
It's just constant the whole time. You're just in school.
We're just learning.
You're here on Earth. You're a humanoid. You've been put on this Earth.
Yeah.
You could have been put on any other planet. You're put on this Earth to go from 3rd to 4th density and to go to school. So everything around you is a learning lesson. It's not it's not their fault that they hurt you.
No.
It has nothing to do. They're living their own universe.
They're also trying to learn.
Yes.
Whether they're consciously aware of it or not, there's learning that's occurring.
So with confidence and motivation, you can look at this and say, this is the school that I'm in right now. I've been put in this situation. The universe would not have given me this situation if I could not handle it.
Yeah.
So with confidence and motivation, if my heart's right and I have love, peace, I've studied it, I've got the knowledge, I've got the wisdom, make the decision. So many people are not willing to make a decision based off of guilt, fear, worry, stress, all of these negative things. It's like
those blockers.
Yeah, it's like at some point, do you not realize that you are just a fractal being of the universe? I mean, there's like, we all know what fractals are.
Correct.
When you keep digging in, there's humans, and then there's, plants, and animals. But you pull back, and what do you see?
It's the same thing.
8th density?
Yeah. It's all the same shit.
It's you. You are 8th density.
Everything that is creation is what has designed you.
Yes.
So you are part and parcel of this thing.
You're a fractal expression of creation.
You're an expression of creation.
Yes.
So what are you doing trying to say that you don't have the power to make choice? That you put these false things in front of you? You go against your own truth of what you are. You could stand and look in the mirror.
Yes.
Like, holy shit. I'm a conscious, living, breathing, interacting, multiversal, multidimensional with your thoughts and your consciousness being. I'm
eternal.
A function of creation.
Yeah.
That should blow your fucking mind just in that sense. And you should be so assured with that awareness.
Yes.
Just looking at yourself like, oh my gosh.
Well, to end this is what he says. And under all circumstances, constantly keep and preserve them.
Yeah. Because when you feel like you've done it and it's done it right, don't let it go. Like, oh, I've learned that lesson. I don't have to think about it anymore. These things are the foundations that allow you to continue to evolve and develop. So you have to continue to repurpose them over and over and over and over and over. You have to always be consciously aware of it.
Yeah, and I want to thank QualityMazdaNM.com, our sponsor. If you're looking for a vehicle and you're in Texas, Colorado,
Or New Mexico.
Quality Mazda NM for New Mexico, NM.com. And then also, we have a new thing where 501c3, you can donate now
Yes.
to Higher Density Living. How would you do that?
So if you want to donate to Higher Density Living, there's two ways you can do it. You can either go to Higher Density Living's website and donate directly. Or if you don't want to pay money directly out of your pocket, you can get resource holders to channel that money directly towards not-for-profits you care about by signing up at tartle.co, sharing your data, and channeling those earnings towards those charities
There's
you care
a little
about.
tab, and it'll say Higher Density Living, and so you can fill out data packets.
So every time you share something,
Yeah.
and somebody wants to give you resources for it, say, well, I don't want the resources. I want to put it towards a cause. You can choose to put it right towards HDL.
And that's tartle, TARTLE.co.
Thanks.